End. It's over. We're done. It's December the 23rd. And if you've gotten your gift by mail yet, by Amazon yet, if the answer is no, then yeah, there's a good reason for that. Because here in Canada, thank you, Justin, and the rest of the Canada Post Workers Union, mail didn't move for a month. And while they went back to work last week, boy, oh boy. While they claim, and by the way, Canada Post puts out this wonderful statement, good news, your letters are going to make it to Santa. But in the meantime, how many people are not going to be happy on this Christmas? Thanks to both Amazon and Canada Post. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the final live rant of 2024. I'm David Solomon. He is Stuart Brisgell. We are the Rant Network, where this is uncensored, unedited, unfiltered conversations about a whole wide variety of topics. And let me tell you, folks, Stuart is just urging to get at me after what I did to him on Friday. So we are going to dive into the latest news, pop culture, and so much more. This is absurdity, folks. This is where modern life just kicks in and we go, what the hell? Anyways, this is maybe an issue that's going to affect us really, really badly. Our dependency on both Canada Post and Amazon has gone through the roof. And I can't wait to hear how Stuart is going to tell me how Canada's shit today. But folks, let's put it this way. Sit back, relax, as we go and we now vent about unions, workers, corporations, governments. We are very dependent, folks. We are extremely dependent. If you saw what the pandemic did, buying online, boy, oh boy, did we make a ton of money. You know, anybody was in e-commerce or whatever, they bought, we bought. My post, Stuart, I don't get mail at the door anymore. We have central boxes right now in corners of the street. And they changed it this year to accommodate for less mail and more packages, because that's what Canada Post makes its money on. Not on the mail. We don't send mail anymore. But Amazon, baby, it's all about the packages. It's all about the envelopes. But yet both went on strike or on strike. And boy, talk about timing. So, Stuart, what's your take on these two strikes, if you will?
All right. So, David, yes, tried and roasted the living shit out of me in the previous episode because I had some computer malfunctions and couldn't get jumped down. And then his Israeli blood just couldn't let anything go. And again, David was far from being correct and proper, but we won't bleed him out and gut him like a pig that he is. We're just going to stick to the facts today. Teamsters launched the largest strike against Amazon in American history. It began December 19th, and it's nationwide following Amazon's repeated refusal to, quote, follow the law and bargain. What does that mean? That means that Amazon is not bending over like a woke company and taking a knee to the Teamsters. The second most irrelevant union in the country. The most irrelevant union in the country, believe it or not, is the teachers' unions. But because they're each independent by region, they are the biggest ones of all, where they promise the world of collective bargaining and seem to get rich off of their constituents. And you have to know where unions began. You know, their social justice system replaced unions. What is that? Unemployment, rules of employment, work hours, and laws surrounding work hours. That literally replaced the necessity for having a union. But if you had a fiefdom, would you want to go away? Clearly they don't. And more people want to opt out, except those that are promised gold, silver, and the life of luxury from a conglomerate that isn't going to capitulate. Canada Post. Let me tell you something. At the U.S. side of the border, if you brought a package that's to be serviced to Canada, it'll either be returned to sender or refused at the post office. Why? Because the restarting of the U.S. Canadian post system will go probably not until the second week of New Year's. Now, is this attack on Old St. Nick's? Is the timing to just hurt and punish those that wait all year for a cup of cheer. Why am I bringing in this second topic that David just loves as I twist and turn? Because they are intertwined. If the union did this strike on January 15th at Amazon, it would only affect a certain amount of people. But in a last-ditch effort right before the holidays, where most, I think, what is it, David, you're in the toy business, you used to be a toy peddler, is what, 60% or 80% of your business done in the last 60 days of the year? Something like that?
Close enough.
Okay. And again, I'm not an expert on what little toys would sell, but David worked in the toy industry, so he is well aware of what, little Buzz Lightyear and how many of them would sell between that last 60-day stretch. But I'm willing to wager that the last 30-day stretch would sell more than Burgundy shoes at Florsheim's, but you would probably sell more of those little Buzz Lightyears in the last 21 days of the Christmas shopping season, which begins shortly thereafter, American Thanksgiving. Not Canadian Thanksgiving, but American Thanksgiving. Now, if that's not an interesting fact, then why would the last 5 days of the overnight second-day shipment company known as Amazon, an American-based company that reinvented shopping, wiping out shopping malls, shopping plazas, and grand retailers around the world, happen just on that day? Who is it punishing? Is it punishing the publicly traded company that's owned by most of Americans and most Canadians and most international corporations, pension funds? Or is it to punish you, the consumer, to take away that happy holiday, ho, ho, ho? Hanukkah is just after Christmas. So they're also now caught in this crosshair, ruining the wonder and joy of light. Why does the left seem to want to destroy any Judeo-Christian holiday? David, I can tell you why. Because it interferes with their objective, and that is to wipe out religion in every aspect of the morals that come with it in society and replace it with something other than that, which brings in the woke of the world as one example of what they've tried to do. And they're continuing to try to do. I think it's a much bigger message, has very little to do with Canadian postal workers that treacherously walk through the snow and sleet to deliver that wasted mail that should go electronic, because their jobs are almost near obsolete. David, you're in Canada, the Great White North, where every American city is within 500 miles of the American border, because there's really nothing of value just north of that, except a near barren wasteland where nobody wants to live. Because let's face it, who could survive in the Arctic North, or one of the 3 territories that exist in the subarctic? David?
December 23rd, and Stuart is trying to get at me for all of his ignorance. Okay, so let's start from the very beginning of what Stuart is saying. Is like my hot blood. I love that how Stuart just hasn't grown up since he's like 8. Look, folks, I guess when Stuart can't be mature, he has to be immature, because it just shows that he just doesn't know what he's talking about when it comes to this. Please listen to Friday's rant. I had to throw that in just because I want the last word this year. Okay, let's get serious. Let's talk about this whole business about Canada Post and Amazon and the unions. Folks, Stuart hit the nail on the head, though. It's about your pain, because that's a union tactic. Union tactics are all about pain, okay? The pain to the corporation, pain to the government, but mostly pain to you. You are always impacted by a strike. Think of the airlines. When pilots go on strike, who gets hurt? You, the consumer, because you need the planes. Right now, Amazon goes on strike, the deliverers. Why is that? You are in pain. Once again, union tactics, Stuart, is all about pain so that their members get some gain. Really? Or is it about the unions wanting to line their pockets with more percentages of memberships and amounts and whatever? Because in reality, yes, the unions are unfortunately still needed because negotiation between a group of employees and corporations and the government is unfortunately not always fair. And it needs an intermediary often. But the problem is that the unions are not the right intermediary anymore. They don't really truly represent the workers as they should. And I know experience after experience, I don't have enough time in this rant to go through these things. Okay. So at the end of the day, the only tactic they have is to hurt you, which is vile. Now, what Stuart was talking about the left and kind of making a fruit salad out of this, a la Kamala Harris, I don't understand where like this is it, folks. Okay, the unions are run generally by, more left-leaning individuals, but you know what? At the end of the day, these people have voted voted in the last election, and they voted for Trump to say we want more money in our pocket. This is how you want more money in your pocket? By hurting people? Okay. I love to see that Stuart once again with his immaturity. David doesn't understand. This will be the phrase of the year. David doesn't understand, which by extension means you're all stupid. You don't understand because Stuart is the smart American in this case. The United States unions, Canadian unions, it really is fucking exhausting, Stuart. Please stop that. Thank you. Okay, the unions are really what they were there originally for. Their raison d'etre hasn't evolved. That's the problem. It hasn't evolved. They're a powerful group. They're a powerful bloc. They're a powerful lobby bloc. You saw in the last election how who was going to get their vote in the U.S. election was critical. And it's going to happen the same thing here in Canada. But unions have less faith and trust from its members. They've been told what to do, Stuart. They've been told who to vote for, right? Remember, 4 years ago, who they told them to vote for. They all said, vote for Joe Biden. It'll be better. It didn't work out. And guess who got hurt again? You, the consumer. The union doesn't care about anybody else but themselves, folks. Get over this whole ideology. And to have this strike here at Christmas, as Stuart said, why would you do January 15th? We don't deliver as much as we do at Christmas. Absolutely. Which means, guess what, Stuart? There'll be less bonuses for Amazon employees. There'll be less bonuses for Canada Post employees because they won't deliver. So, it's just an amazing mindset of let me hurt you. But the bigger picture, it doesn't help the employee at the end of the day. It really doesn't. And I'm sorry. So whether Stuart says, I don't understand, okay, maybe I am stupid. But at the end of the day, do you think I want to give more business now to Amazon employees or to Canada Post employees? No, not at all. If they hit certain benchmarks, and if they don't hit the certain benchmarks, what happens? Anyway, Stuart has to obviously Wikipedia because Stuart has to show that that this isn't the reality is, Stuart. The reality is, Stuart, unions need to evolve. That's my opinion.
All right. Wonderful, David. And what you also fail to forget is that the postal worker that used to come knock on your door and give you your mail before Christmas, or you used to leave a little envelope with $5, $10, $20.
Those days are dead.
Absolutely zero. Yeah, it's dead.
Those days are dead.
David, I gotta thank you for the slights that you've been just dishing. And David doesn't understand. Sounds like another podcast that I'm going to start as a result of this for the new year. David doesn't understand because really, frankly, I do understand. And the vernacular that I choose to use to try and explain the situation is maybe not to talk above people, like people that are from Canada that have all this energy and is the greatest country that's evolved, that if the United States catches a cold, Canada gets pneumonia. It doesn't change the fact that Canada is a great country and a great nation indeed. But unfortunately, its level of arrogance seems to be outweighed by its value to the world. Anyways, on that note, it is Christmas. It is Hanukkah. It is the last broadcast that we're doing live. And you get to come back here next year and watch David and I punch it out. Because you know what? We actually enjoy doing this. And we actually, in the green room, we sort of egg each other on.
Letting you talk. I'm just putting some Christmas music in the background, Stuart. Go ahead. Finish it up.
to shut him up, I just got to turn his mic completely off, and then I can just turn him off completely. And it's as if he's not even here. But we don't want to do that to David so fast, and we want to give him a voice. So if he can mature up, I'll gladly give him his final cheer. I wish you and your family and extended families, no matter what you choose to do over the national holidays that are forthcoming, and I hope you're safe. I hope you're kind. I hope you think of others that are less fortunate and stupid, because they in turn enjoy the same holidays as you. And look at this. Look how red. He looks like old St. Nick's with a pair of glasses on his head. And you know what? It's okay, because it's about cheer and the levity that we hopefully bring with this idiotic but extremely important podcast. I hope you understand that it's done in a way that no one threatens to kill each other, no one threatens to hurt each other, and we have a good time. I'm not afraid of hurting little David's opinion, and I really don't give two darns what he has to think. It's okay. We've been friends for 47 years, maybe 48. I'm losing count, David. But either way, that's a thing of age. Again, as one of the representatives from the Rant Network, because the other one is going to be made silent for the rest of the broadcast, I wish you, and for both of us, a happy and healthy holiday season. And in 2025, we hope to roll out some crazy shit, some fun stuff, and hit back the way we have for the last, will be almost 5 years. David, I'll give you the last sentence.
Oh, wow, I got it. Ladies and gentlemen, listen, I will echo Stuart's words. This holiday season, you're going to sit down with people who don't agree with you. It's not about hate. It's not about being vicious. If you're sitting here arguing about Trump versus Biden or Trudeau versus Poilievre, that's healthy. Please welcome it. Don't challenge it to the point where you can't sit at the table together. On that lovely note, ladies and gentlemen, we want to wish you and thank you again. Have yourself a wonderful holiday season. And we look back to ranting again in January of 2025, because that year is going to be historic. We want to wish you peace. We want to wish you all the very best. Enjoy the time with the family.